Hey, what's up, y'all? It's been a long minute, but I had to get some things in order. Life happens. I'm not a person that's very punctual, and yeah, life happens. But welcome to the fifth edition of Box Office Talk, and I am here talking about the box office. As usual, it's called Box Office Talk. So let's talk about the box office now. Usually the structure is I'll talk about my last week's predictions for whatever weekend is coming up, give my predictions or whatever. Then I'll go over what won the weekend, and then give my predictions for next weekend, as well as go over like the movies that are coming out, for this weekend and stuff, as well as movies that are coming to rent on the stream, and that's the format. And I may every now and then throw in some movie reviews pertaining to any movie that I'm talking about within the top five, whatever is topping the top five over the weekend box office, as well as if there's movies coming out for DVD stream, blah blah blah. But since I've been missing some weeks of box office talk, we're gonna skip the whole prediction thing because I didn't have predictions for this past weekend. So let's go ahead and jump right into what won the weekend. What won the weekend, you may ask? Well, there's a few movies that won the weekend. So at number one, which should come to no surprise to anybody, was The Invisible Man with $28.2 million, and Sonic came in at number two with $16.2 million. The Call of the Wild came in at $13.3 million. My Hero Academia Heroes Rising came in at $5.7 million, and Bad Boys for Life rounds up the top five with $4.3 million. Now, what stands out to me? So really, the only thing that stands out to me is My Hero Academia, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But I want to just kind of like talk about The Invisible Man. Now, I'm not going to give my review because I'm going to give it its own little solo review or whatever on my channel. I'm going to do that later on this week and, just have everything ready for that. But that was one thing that wasn't too surprising to me, because even before that, I was hearing little things about how good it was. I didn't go deep into it. Whenever a movie is coming out, actually just lately, unless I really am very interested in it, I really don't check anything. I don't check Rotten Tomatoes. I don't look at any reviews or whatever, unless, I just, feel like it. I'm on YouTube. I might check out a Chris Stuckman review or John Campea review if they've already seen it or something like that, or whoever. And but other than that, when it comes to like just checking out everything, I really don't do that like that. So in doing that, I like to kind of go in fresh. And so Invisible Man, I didn't really expect too much from it, but after seeing it, I'm like, yes, this is going to be at the number one spot. This is going to be number one. This isn't just any old throwaway horror film like we've been getting this past year already. The only kind of like real exception to this movie is maybe Gretel and Hansel. Gretel and Hansel. If you've seen that, I'm gonna do a review on that. Should have it up this weekend. Oh no. I should have one up. I think I'm doing it on the Take One podcast, but I am doing a review on that one. But other than Invisible Man, that is the only one that is somewhat of a great, or not even great, but good horror film. And it's, when I look at it, it's not surprising that is at number one. It was only surprising because I didn't really expect too much. I thought that this movie would be just like a throwaway, and it wasn't. So to see that it's doing number one, I want only but good things to happen for this movie. This coming weekend, which I'm going to get into a little bit, Onward is coming out, which is only going to have maybe 1 week at the number one spot, unless Onward is just a piling piece of garbage, which from what I've heard so far, it's not that. So that's going to be at the number one spot. But I wish this had like a longer shelf life at number one. But I mean, movies still, even though they might not be at number one, they might not even be in the top five. They still have like legs. Jumanji, for example, is still in theaters. You can go to your nearest theater, depending on where you at. Go to your nearest theater, and you more than likely can watch Jumanji: The Next Level. That came out in December. It is the third month of this year, and it is still in theaters. So, I mean, I can see that this movie may end up having long legs. I don't think it's going to be as long as that, but I can see a lot of people, if people didn't rush out this past weekend, they're more than likely going to head out this coming weekend because of just word of mouth. The only other, well, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, the upcoming movies of this weekend, but it's like I can see word of mouth is really gonna start getting people to go see this because this is a movie worth seeing. Like I said, the only other thing that stood out to me in the top 5 was My Hero Academia. Now, I am not a fan of the show, not because I watched it and I hate it. It's like I never really watched it. I watched it a little bit with my son, the English dub or whatever. And it seemed pretty interesting, but I never fully got into it. I watched the whole season 2, and all this stuff. I didn't do all that. My nephew loves it. I even let him know because he didn't even know it was in theaters. So I had to let him know. And this was before it even came to theaters. And he wanted to go take his son and all that stuff. But that was one thing that kind of stood out to me because I didn't expect it. Even when I was looking up the box office results for this podcast, that stood out to me. Wow. But you know what? Dragon Ball Super Broly did that last year. It was up in the top 5 for a little bit. So I mean, looking in hindsight, I really can't be surprised about it, but I'm surprised only because I wasn't looking forward to it. Now, had I been a fan, then I probably wouldn't have been surprised. Maybe that would have clicked in my head, Dragon Ball Super Broly did it last year. This more than likely is going to be in the top 5 this year or whatever. But I mean, it's surprising, but not surprising in those if you look at it like that. But other than that, everything looks accordingly. You got Bad Boys for Life still up in the top 5. Call It a While, I'm going to do a review on that. I don't know when, but I am going to do that. Sonic the Hedgehog. Matter of fact, I am going to be doing some reviews should be dropping next week, because I'm going to be doing some reviews for January this week. Doing it on Reviewercast, and I'm thinking about dropping it on Sunday. So I should have all the January movies that I didn't do a review for on that podcast, or maybe before, I don't know. But I'm be doing it for February next week. So I'm gonna have January all covered and February all covered. So more than likely, I will have I'm gonna have Invisible Man done this week. And I will have Sonic the Hedgehog, Call It a While done next week. So, yeah, look out for that. But, like I said, other than that, nothing really stands out to me up in the top 5. But let's go ahead and jump right into what movies are coming this week. Now, there's only 2 movies that's coming this week, which is Pixar's, Onward and The Way Back. And both of those movies look interesting. Of course, Onward looks more interesting to me. The Way Back, I am definitely gonna check it out. And opening up wide this week is the movie Anna with Anya Taylor-Joy, which I am going to definitely check it out. So those are 3 movies that I'm looking forward to. Tonight I'm going to go see The Lodge. So I don't know when I'm going to drop that review, but it should be coming soon, or I might add that to just next week's reviewer cast where I'm reviewing all the February movies or whatever that I didn't review. But those are the movies that are coming out this weekend. It's not that many. It really is not that many. And that puts a load off of me to where I don't have to be sitting here thinking about, 4 big movies are coming out this weekend. I got to go see it and all this stuff. So, I'm definitely going to go take my son to go see Onward. And I'm hearing positive things about it. And even from the first trailer, it didn't grab me. It wasn't a movie where I'm like, I definitely got to go see this. It was a movie this would be a fun movie to take my son to. And that's really what was going through my mind. So definitely going to take him. The Way Back looks like it could potentially be good. it looks like one of those movies that's just an inspiring story, and it's got Ben Affleck up in it, and it looks like it looked like it could be good. It looked like it could be good. I haven't looked at any reviews or anything for it. Depending on how I feel, I may check out the reviews before I go see the movie, but I may end up trying to go see it Friday. I don't know. I will see, but yeah, Onward would be definitely a priority for me. But I'm not extremely excited to see it, but I'm definitely will check it out, whatever. And so let's go ahead and jump into the weekend predictions. So the weekend predictions, I am going to just say Onward definitely will take that number one spot, like I said earlier. Invisible Man, or The Invisible Man, will take the number 2 spot. Will get knocked down. Sonic the Hedgehog will be at number 3. The Way Back, I feel like it's going to come in at number 4, because even though I've seen trailers whenever I go to the show, I don't think too many people go to the show like that. So unless you are an avid moviegoer like myself, I don't think that you're going to really see too much advertisement marketing for The Way Back. So it may not even hit in the top 5, but I'm going to give it that number 4 spot. I'm going to give it the number 4 spot. And then rounding off the top 5 will be The Call of the Wild. Now, I could be wrong on some of these, but I'm going to stick with this. And so let's jump right into to Rent on the Stream. What's new to Rent on the Stream? And there's 3 movies that's coming out that I am going to do some reviews on. I'm coming out with a new podcast called Countdown, where each episode count down different things or whatever. And for this season of the Countdown, I'm going to be talking about the best and worst of 2019. And it's going to be the top 10. In each episode, I'm going to be reviewing. Some of the movies I've already did reviews for, so I may just talk about it a little bit. But Queen and Slim is going to be a part of that. So I'm going to have that out, a part of that podcast. But as far as Dark Waters and Play Mobile, I am going to have those out. I just don't know exactly when, but just stay posted or whatnot. But yeah, so those are the 3 movies that are coming out: Queen and Slim, Dark Waters, and Play Mobile. If you get the chance to, and you have not seen Queen and Slim, I cannot stress it enough. Definitely go check it out. Definitely go check it out, because that's one of those movies where I really did want to see. It was on my list of like, this movie may end up being really good. And I was like, yo, this movie was really, really damn good. So if you get the chance and you haven't seen it, find it at Redbox, or you can, rent it on the Play app or something like that. Definitely go check it out. Dark Waters is another movie. If you're into true stories and stuff like that, definitely go check that out. Dark Waters, definitely go check it out. It's a movie starring Mark Ruffalo, who plays a lawyer who gets hired to investigate this big company who is dumping these chemicals in the water, and it's making like the people in this town sick, and the cattle, the animals sick, and everything else. And so he starts to uncover a whole big thing. So it's him versus this big old company, and it's really interesting. Definitely go check it out. And Play Mobile, it's like I wasn't familiar with the brand, wasn't familiar, but it's kind of like a Lego type thing or whatever, and it has Anya Taylor-Joy up in there, and yeah, it's just about a brother and sister who basically has some turmoil in their life, and so they find themselves being sucked into the world of Play Mobile, and they gotta try to find a way out, while in the same sense, connecting and all that stuff. But that one, it will be good for kids. You may not, as an adult, and I'm talking to the adults, you may not feel like it's a movie for you, but I think the kids are gonna like it more than you might like it. So if you can find it and you need a movie to put on for the kids, if you probably might go on Netflix or whatever. But I mean, if you come across it and you're at Redbox and you see it, pick it up, and you got some kids, play it for them. They may end up loving it. And so, since I got some more time on the podcast, I would end it there, but I think I am going to do a review. And the review that I'm going to do is The Call of the Wild. So, in seeing this movie, I could say that I really didn't have too many expectations for it. I really didn't think too much of it. I went to go see it because it was like, okay, this is a new movie. I'm going to go see it. I plan on doing a review and blah, blah, blah. And I was surprisingly taken by it. Now, I've seen a few reviews on it before I went to go see it, so I knew what to expect. By looking at the trailers, I didn't really expect it. Well, I didn't really pay attention too much to the trailers. I watched them, but I didn't really, see too much. I didn't pay attention to it like that. But in some of the reviews, they were talking about how it's CG. All the animals are CG, and I'm like, I don't know that. I'm like, that just really took me down. So, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like looking at reviews before I go see a movie, because it puts that in the mind. And I could say that going to go see this, yeah, it does stand out. It really does stand out. And I was, it's like you can't not really notice it. It's not really great like CG like in Lion King or Jungle Book or something like that, where it just seems seamless or whatever. But it was decent CG, but I don't understand why they couldn't do like how they normally do it, where it's kind of like a mixture. In certain scenes you use CG animals because it may be like you want them to do something, or they might be in some type of danger, so you don't want to put the actual animal in that danger, so you trade off and on. But literally every single animal, every single scene, every part of this movie is CG. And it does stand out. But after a while of watching the movie, it didn't really bother me as much. I'm just sitting there. At first, I was like, damn, it just stood out. But then once you start getting into the movie, then everything starts to become good. I hear a lot of reviewers talking about how, like, Harrison Ford is basically the standout. Like, when he comes into the picture and it actually focuses on him and his character or whatever, John Thornton, I believe, that's when the things started getting better. For me, once I got the whole CG animals things out my head, that's when things started to pick up, because I really enjoyed the ride along with this dog and his journey from like the people that he was with prior to being with Harrison Ford's character. But it just, from beginning to end, it was kind of like fun, like, because I felt myself at the beginning of the movie just against this dog, because he's just messing up and doing his own little thing, and he's just constantly messing up, and it's like, it got me mad. Like, I don't own a dog, so it's not like I have some real big attachment to it, but I'm like, the dog was just getting on my nerves. But after a while, I started to warm up to the dog, and by the end of the movie, I was rooting for him. Even by the middle of the movie, I was rooting for him. But it's like I enjoyed the whole journey from place to place, and everything that the dog was doing, everything that Buck was doing. I really enjoyed that. And like I said, with Harrison Ford's character, he does make the movie. He does an incredible job, because John Thornton is the character's name, has a past with his family and everything else, and he has a drinking problem, and you kind of get into that. You start to feel for that character, and then you start to understand his relationship with Buck, and just the chemistry between him and this CG dog. You kind of like, you really like it. And I mean that in general, of course. But yeah, like it starts to bring you in and whatnot, and it becomes one of the best things of the movie, as well as just the kind of like connection that not only Buck has with John, but with the other animals. It's a part in the movie where he is a dog sled, sled dog, whatever you call him. He's a part of that group, and the bond with the other dogs, I really enjoyed that. And just getting back to Harrison Ford's character now, he is in half the movie. He's on the poster, and when you look at the trailer, you would think that Harrison Ford is all throughout there, but he is literally only in the second, kind of like he comes in the middle. I mean, he's in certain parts of like the beginning, but he really makes a big, entrance into the movie at the halfway point, and then it goes all the way into the end. It is a good story. And it is a story about, like the gold rush around that time does play a role, but a background role. That it doesn't really make it like a real huge thing, but it does come in periodically every now and then, and it kind of like shows itself toward the end. And just kind of getting back to the whole, CG thing, and it's like, I get it. Sometimes, like, when you're working with animals, you don't get that expression. You don't get that if they're in danger. It's just kind of the things that, they had problems with the new Lion King movie. It was expressionless, and that was one of the things that they kind of did it, but it came off kind of weird or, just whatever. So I could see why they did that, because it would be hard to have like certain animals make certain expressions, do certain things, and blah, blah, blah. But at the risk, sometimes it would take a person, if that really bothers you, it'll take you out the movie. But other than that, I really enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it way more than what I thought I would. So I'm trying out this new rating system. I know I just keep flipping flop back and forth or whatever, but so I'm going to either give it a hit or a miss. And with this movie, with me personally, it's a hit. It had a hit. It's right there towing that line of miss, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed just the chemistry between the characters, the dog and, John, as well as like just, between the other animals, and just, I enjoyed the ride, like I said. And it's a movie that I really think a lot of people should check out. It is a family film. I can't see a grown up just going to go see this unless they just love dogs by themselves. But it is a good family film to take the kids to. So if you've seen Onward or something like that, or before Onward comes out, you want to go to the show and take the kids, this would be a good film. And so with that said, that ends my review of The Call of the Wild, as well as it ends this podcast. And I would like to thank you guys for listening. And I know I've been slacking on my channel, but I'm trying to do a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm trying to put out a whole bunch of stuff. I just did a new podcast called the Play One Podcast, and I'm planning on doing another episode this week as well. And I got a few things coming this week, it's crazy. It's crazy. But, I think that's it. And until next episode, catch you guys later. Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.